Hi everybody, good evening. Good to see many of you. I'm joined here with Julie Metcalf on violin. Literally just came in one minute ago. And we're going to sing a couple of songs together. The first is Gather the Spirit by Jim Scott, which really invites in all kinds of emotions and feelings and just says that it is good to be together in all of it. One, two. Gather the Spirit. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame, witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit, growing in awe, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring, summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding is one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Oh, it's such a great song. All right, we've got another one here for you. I'm going to pull out the guitar. I might need just a little more room here. And of course, one of our favorite songs to sing here at Sanctuary Boston is Pat Humphries of Emma's Revolution, Swimming to the Other Side. We sing it in times of joy and we sing it in times of grief. And it's just a reminder that we're all here doing this together. We're all imperfect and striving to do the best we can on this journey together. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving the spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I'm searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving the spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living in the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share. Have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
I'm now going to take a moment and invite you to light a chalice if you have one. Maybe your chalice has a candle. Maybe it has a little electric candle like mine has. Maybe you want to light a digital chalice on your phone. Maybe you just want to take a moment to be present and look at all of the chalices people are holding up in all of the videos. It's awesome. Our chalice lighting this week is called Gates of Hope by Victoria Safford. Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, not the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of everything is gonna be all right. But a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling, about your own soul, first of all, and its condition, the place of resistance and defiance, the piece of ground from which you see the world, both as it is and as it could be, as it will be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but the joy of the struggle. And we stand there, beckoning and calling, telling people what we are seeing, asking people what they see.
Well, welcome all to this worship gathering, this special fifth Wednesday worship gathering with Sanctuary Boston. My name is Matt Meyer, and I'm the Director of Community Life for Sanctuary. First of all, we want to invite you to stay in touch with us. So we're going to be sharing in the chat box how to stay in touch on Facebook and over email. Facebook has made it way harder to invite people to events. So we just want to particularly encourage you to follow us there and also RSVP to events, which will help you get invited back, which is getting increasingly hard to do. A couple logistics about the service this evening. As I mentioned before, we're recording, so if you'd rather not have your face shared on YouTube later, you can always turn off your camera, although we certainly invite you to leave the camera on if you're comfortable with that, so we can see your singing and your smiles and your beautiful faces. We recommend using gallery view because gathering in community, even when we're socially distanced, is still part of what makes the Sanctuary Worship Gathering special. Everyone will be muted who's not a worship leader, but we still definitely invite you to sing along with all of the music. And to that end, we're sharing the lyrics in the chat box and also in a separate document along with the order of service, so you can follow along if that's something you'd like to do. Most of all, we just invite you to worship in whatever way moves you this evening, to rest, to lie down if that's what's comfortable, to get up and dance if that's what's moving you and that's where the Spirit is. Try out some new harmonies you might not have been so bold to try if other folks could hear you. It's so good to be together. This is the second of our 4-part series on finding our way back home, talking about home, what that means for us, where we find it. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about what it means to find a sense of home even while we're still journeying, even while we're not at the destination yet. And in thinking particularly this week about what it means to find a sense of home, a sense of belonging, when there's so much conversation in this country about who gets to live here and who this place belongs to, who is in and who is out. I've been remembering this story that I read about a while back. In 1954, Anne Braden and her husband Carl bought a home in a white neighborhood near Louisville, Kentucky. They were a white couple, so they didn't have any problem buying the house. but they were actually buying it just in order to transfer it to some friends of theirs who were Black, Andrew and Charlotte Wade. When Andrew and Charlotte, the Wades, moved into this house in this white segregated neighborhood, their white neighbors lost their minds. There was threats of violence, there was actual violence. They shot out the windows of the home. Eventually there were angry mobs, and eventually their home was actually bombed, damaging the home severely, even though no people were hurt during that. And to me, what's striking is not just that the neighbors were so committed to enforcing segregation that they caused violence, because we know that's a part of the long history of this country up through till today. But that the response of the police and the courts and the politicians and the whole power structure was to punish the Bradens for having done what they did. And in fact, Anne and Carl Braden were charged with sedition. They were basically charged with treason against their country, because their white neighbors, the police, the courts, and the politicians, they believed that segregation was so fundamental to the United States that any act someone would take against white supremacy was, well, that was the only evidence you needed to convict someone on charges of sedition. So I want to say, we shouldn't have to say this these days, but Sanctuary Community is committed to fighting white supremacy, culture in our congregations, in our communities, our neighborhoods, and also in our country. It's devastating to me to see this conversation still so alive, still to see the power structures advocating for white supremacy. And I'm glad to be part of a community of resistance against it. So thank you for this evening, at least, being with us in that community of resistance, being part of a community that says we all belong here, all of us, that borders and walls are not how we get to a place of justice, that mass incarceration isn't how we support families and create a sense of home in our communities. And so thank you for being part of this community, creating some sense of home, and thank you for being part of our wider community doing this work together. I invite 3 of our board members now to read the words of welcome, and I invite you to read along, reading out loud whatever phrases or words speak most to you, or just whatever fonts you like best.
Whether you go to church on Sunday morning,
or light candles on Friday nights,
whether you've been hurt by religion,
saved by it,
or some of both,
whether you're brand new to spiritual community,
or a seasoned seeker,
whoever you are, whatever you are,
wherever you are on your journey,
we welcome you.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Chen. I will be singing the centering song tonight, and this song is called Home is Where the Heart Is. I wrote this about a year ago. At home, I don't remember what I was doing, but I think I was thinking, where is home? My family is from Taiwan. I was born in the US. I feel like the US is my home. I went to college in the Midwest, but I grew up in the Boston area. And so it's just like, so where is home? Is home a place, a feeling, people? And I don't think my song actually answers that. But that was what I was thinking when I was writing this song, and just how good it felt to be home. And yeah, so if you'll join me in singing, I'll repeat the first section and like a little bit, and the second section, then keep singing from there. Please join, and I hope you enjoy. So this is Home is Where the Heart Is. is where the heart is. Home's a place we start. Home is where the heart is, and from that place we'll never part. Home is where the heart is. Home's a place we see. Though there's a big wide world around us, there's a place for me. So from the beginning. Home is where the heart is. Home's the place we start. Home is where the heart is, and from that place we'll never part. Home is where the heart is. Home's a place we see. Though there's a big wide world around us, there's a place for me. But when I go, where's my home? And when I go, am I alone? Or am I free? So that part again. But when I go, where's my home? And when I go, am I alone? Or am I free? Home is where the heart is. Home's a place I find when I am so weary. Home's not in sight, but on my mind. Home is where the heart is. Home's a place we see. Though there's a big wide world around us, there's a place for me. But when I go, where's my home? And when I go, am I alone? Or am I free? And when I go, there's my home. And when I go, I'm not alone. Home's waiting for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts. Tonight's words of inspiration come from Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer from her book, Braiding Sweetgrass. Sometimes my father would name the gods of Forked Lake or South Pond or Brandy Brook Flow, wherever our tents were settled for the night. I came to know that each place was inspirited, was home to others before we arrived and long after we left. As he called out the names and offered a gift, the first coffee, he quietly taught us the respect we owed these other beings and how to show our thanks for summer mornings. Among our Potawatomi people, there are public names and true names. True names are used only by intimates and in ceremony. My father had been on Tahawa's summit many times and knew it well enough to call it by name, speaking with intimate knowledge of the place and people who came before. When we call a place by name, it is transformed from wilderness to homeland. I imagined that this beloved place knew my true name as well, even when I myself did not.
Hi everyone, My name is Jo, and I'm excited to share a song with you that has been meaningful to me over the years. It's actually based on a biblical verse that I chanted at my bat mitzvah. In Genesis chapter 12, the story goes that God calls to Abraham, although his name is Avram at the time, calls to Abraham and says, like, get up and go forth from your homeland, from your home, from your father's house, from your people, and go to a land that I'll show you. You've never seen it before, but just go. I'll make you a blessing and your name will be great. And then Abraham just like gets up and goes. It's just like, okay, and goes. And I've pondered this story for years, kind of thinking about what is it that makes somebody get up and go to some place they've never been, someplace they've never seen. That's my cat. On the hope of a blessing. And then there's this teaching, that's Bean. And then there's this teaching that I love. So in Hebrew, the verb, like if you're commanding somebody go, like as if God were saying to Abraham, God could have said lech, which is just like go. But instead, God in the text says lech lecha, which could mean go to yourself or go for yourself. So the commentators invite us to go to our truest self in part as we think about Abraham's journey. And so this song was written by the late Debbie Friedman, American Jewish songwriter. Can you make sure she doesn't knock over that lamp? Thank you. And Debbie Friedman puts it in a binary language, puts it in the feminine as well, lechi lach, go to your truest self in the feminine. So as we share this song, which I hope you'll join in singing, don't worry so much about getting the Hebrew perfectly, I invite you to consider for yourself what your own journey is, where you are moving toward your truest self, where you might go on a journey for that truest self of yours. And the one other Hebrew phrase in this song is l'simchat chayim, to a joyous life. So where might that journey take you to a joyous life? So I'll invite you to join in as we go. Lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechi lach. Lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
We have a reading from Adrienne Marie Brown, The Way of the Healthy Nomad. I mean nomad here in the sense of one who travels for food or to make a living, and one who is home in the journey. I am noticing the things which help me stay grounded, healthy and grounded, while spending the majority of my life traveling.
Leave no trace behind, beyond joy.
Unless I find a place I want to return to, mark it with a pair of sweatpants or a beloved book.
Then let go of attachment to materials and plans.
I am this journey.
Remember the sacred space is inside.
It is my body and it is worn on my face.
That said, a little bag of items that feel grounding can't hurt. Currently, mine holds a bunch of gifts, including a tiny Ganesh statue for removing obstacles, Zen tarot cards, a stick of Palo Santo to clear bad energy when I'm in a new space, and a print of my favorite sutra, which I'm making into a song to remember. I add my mala when they come off my wrists each night, like they're getting recharged. The most important resource I carry is water. Keep water carrier full and flowing. Immerse myself in water wherever I find it. Remember, it's all of one place, one system.
Pack based on weather, such that I can layer up and down and still look fly. Know exactly where along the journey I will clean my clothing. Fabulous minimalism equals happy style. Very few people look cute with too much baggage. The right piece of cloth can be blanket, scarf, coat, hair wrap, baby carrier, and decoration. It should be beautiful.
Learn practices to center and strengthen myself. Practices to do anytime, anywhere. Meditation, prayer, yoga, aikido, etc. have all persisted for a reason.
Gather up instances of kindness. Always notice when a human is being with me. Cultivate compassion. There are so many mysteries. Eat what I am given enthusiastically with gratitude. Carry fruit to avoid desperation.
Articulate what I need shamelessly, with self-love.
A walk tunes me into the pace of the place where I have landed.
Delays are opportunities to create and reflect, or write, or meditate, or discover new music, or catch up with my loves, Angelina and Beyonce, or chat with my many collaborators in the life, or call mom.
And if in all of this I feel homesick, if I feel lost, if I'm exhausted, earplugs and a good book can still transport me wherever and whenever I need to go.
I invite you to sing along at home for this one. It's Call and Response. It says, "Courage, my friends, you do not go alone."
So every week that we meet together at Sanctuary, we take some time to give what we can give, our a generosity to support an organization that upholds our values. And tonight we are sharing our offering with the UUA Disaster Relief Fund. I'm from Oregon originally. I'm here at college in Massachusetts now, but my family's back in Oregon, and this late summer, fall has been really difficult with all of the fires and the air quality. And luckily my family's been safe, but unfortunately a lot of our people have lost their homes and have been impacted really a lot by the fires. And we wanted to support the Disaster Relief Fund by giving some money today. And Rose can share the slide to, this is a photo of some of the damage in Ashland, Oregon, where the Rogue Valley UU Fellowship is one of our churches there. So it's obviously not great. And so we really appreciate giving what you can give and supporting the Disaster Relief Fund, which also supports UUs in our communities in crisis all over the world. So thank you for your generosity tonight.
Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, 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 come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, 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 whoever you are, wanderer, come, whoever you are, ours is no caravan, 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 of despair. Come yet again, 1,000 times. Come yet again, 1,000 times. Come yet again, 1,000 times. Come yet again, come. Come yet again, come.
There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Dear ones, we arrive together bringing all the joys and the sorrows of our complicated lives with us this evening. Thank you for showing up with your whole self. We invite you now to write down any sorrows you're carrying that you would like to share in the chat box. As sorrows shared are burdens lightened. So please take a moment now as we hear some more music to type any sorrows in the chat box, and then we'll do joys in a few minutes.
is a love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Even in the most difficult times, we also arrive here bringing joys, large and small. We invite you now to write any joys you're carrying in the chat box, as joys shared are joys magnified.
There is a love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Dear ones, I invite you to take a moment to breathe deep, to get grounded wherever you are, and join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, spirit of love that calls us to be together, to be at home together, even on the journey. Be with us as we're with each other this evening, bringing all of our complicated lives, the ups and the downs, the joys and the sorrows, the quiet anxieties, the big celebrations. We gather together even when we're feeling so far from any sense of collective home. We come together grieving the loss of loved ones who have passed due to COVID or for other reasons. We come together grieving the loss in particular of Alandria Williams, our friend, our mentor, an organizer of community organizers, as they've been called. We come together grieving deeply, but carrying the losses together, knowing that the burdens are lightened as they are shared. We recognize and honor the painful health crises, the small injuries and the chronic illnesses, and all in the context of an unfolding COVID health crisis. We're here remembering how fragile and how beautiful, how delicate and how holy our bodies are. Let us learn to be good to them, to be good to each other, in our own lives, in our relationships, and maybe finally sometime as a society. We show up with fear in our hearts for the state of our leadership, for the state of our lack of leadership, worried about the future of democracy, where we live in this place we've called home. Spirit, be with us as we're with each other in our fragileness, our brokenness, our fears and anxieties, our losses and our deep grieving. It is too much. It's too much. And be with us as we're with each other, Spirit of love, also in the joys, also in the small gladnesses and gratitudes, the art projects, the piano lessons, the good grades. Spirit, we arrive celebrating new beginnings of school, of work, of relationships, of new connections, and celebrating anniversaries of long-time loved ones, long-time jobs, celebrations of our community that is always ongoing, always changing, and always unfolding. Love, be with us in all of these things as we're with each other, lifting up the celebrations, honoring the struggles, and finding home and building home wherever we go together. May it be so, and amen.
Make us aware. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and love right through, with thanksgiving. We are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and love right through, with thanksgiving. We are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, we're each made holy, love right through, thanksgiving. We are a living
Yes, yes, yes. Beloveds, make your home at the gates of hope. Plant yourself on the ground from which you can see the world both as it is and as it could yet be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but also the joy of struggle. Remember that the sacred space is inside. It is in your body and it is in your face, beloveds. Learn practices to center and strengthen yourself wherever you are. Let us transform the places we love from wilderness to homeland, because there is a love holding you wherever you are, far away or stuck at home. Mark David, would you take us out with some more music?
All right, we got one more song for you all. Come and go with me to that land. The African American spiritual Come and Go With Me to That Land talks about that land. And that land we sing about has meant many different things to different people. It's meant the promised land to the Israelites in Canaan. During the period of slavery in our country, it has meant escaping to the north, to freedom. And it has meant that perfect idealistic land in the afterlife, heaven. But it also calls us to create a land right here on earth, here and now, a land that is worthy of all our ideals of freedom and justice and love. And if we are to get to that land, it will not be on our own. We must do it together. One, two. There'll be struggle in that land. There'll be struggle in that land. There'll be struggle in that land. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be struggle in that land. There'll be struggle in that land. There'll be struggle in that land. Where I'm bound. We'll be working hand in hand. We'll be working hand in hand. We'll be working hand in hand. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. We'll be working hand in hand. We'll be working hand in hand. We'll be working hand in hand. Where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Where I'm bound. There'll be singing. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. Where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come
Okay, that's just how to do that. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Mark David. Gosh, you guys sound so good. All right, church should be a place where we talk about the things that that are sometimes considered rude to talk about other places. Things like death, sex, money, the big ones. Tonight I got two topics. One is evangelism, and the second is money. So can we just cover both of those right quick in our ritual of announcements? First of all, stay in touch with us on Facebook and the email list. We're really building our community not only wider these days, but also deeper. Our community care team is going to be reaching out to check in with folks now that we're 6 months into this pandemic. And so we want to be able to be in touch with you. So please stay in touch with us. And also, we're going to share the link. If you want to just attend this worship service all over again, you can do that on YouTube. Or perhaps more likely, if there's someone that you know that could use some time with the service or some of the music or readings this evening, please share that with them. So we're going to be sharing the whole channel for all of the services we've been doing almost since we went online 5 or 6 months ago. And please, pass along those invites. I said at the beginning of the service, Facebook has made it much, much, much harder to invite people to worship. So it's not something that I or Mark David can do as the staff anymore, basically. We're going to need just a lot more people inviting the people that they care about who think that this would be meaningful for them. So please help us out with that. If you know any good podcasts that are good, that you're enjoying in your life, you got to tell people about it. And if you know about some good church with some good music, you got to tell people about it, okay? Second is money. First of all, we have a mutual aid team at Sanctuary. And so if you're being affected financially by the pandemic and you're struggling at all, we've got some funds that we can send your way. So please just send a note to the Sanctuary email address. There's no red tape, there's no application, you don't even have to give a reason. You could just say, I'm struggling and a little help would be helpful. And that's all we need. So please be in touch with us if that's the case for you. And as we're offering out money to those who need it, we also want to ask for money. We're just beginning this year to reach out to congregations, other Unitarian Universalist congregations, asking them to share their plate with Sanctuary Boston to help us survive and thrive. So if you're part of a Unitarian Universalist community anywhere in the country, please reach out to them and see if they would be willing to share the plate with us. And if you need letters from us or whatever, materials or information or language, you can be in touch with us at that same email address. Increasingly, Sanctuary Boston, as we've been growing, has been finding other ways to share our learnings, our experiments, our failures and successes with our wider UU movement, and we're hoping to build more of a network of support of other congregations supporting us as we share our resources with them. So thank you for helping us out with that. Tonight for breakout rooms, we don't have any special groups, so we're going to send you off to breakout rooms for about 15 minutes. And after that, we're also going to experiment with just kind of leaving the room open for a while after we come back. So that you can just hang out a bit longer for anybody that's interested in hanging out in the main room more after that 15 minutes. So that'll be our experiment for tonight. We're always constantly trying something new. And we're going to have some more music by Mark David. Feel free to step out in the meantime. And for those of you still around, in another minute or two, we'll send you to the breakout rooms to be in conversation and community together.
1, 2.